It's your friendly math tutor, Miss C here, and today we are writing the equation of an exponential function that passes through 2 points. So I've already written our basic exponential equation, y equals ab to the power of x, and I've also highlighted the two variables that are unknown in this equation. So we need to find the values of a and b. So whenever we don't know two variables, we need two equations to find them. So since we have 2 points, we can easily do that. So we are going to be playing a game of substitution here. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start using my first point. So -2 is my x value, 0.1875 is my y. So I'm going to go ahead and start, and I'm going to rewrite my equation. Everywhere I see y, I'm substituting 0.1875. Okay, and that's going to equal a times b because we don't know those. And then I'm going to substitute my x value as the exponent, which is -2. All right, equation 1 is done. And now I'm going to do the same thing with my second point. So everywhere I see y, I'm going to put 3072n equals a times b, and then in for the exponent goes x, which is 5 in this case. All right, we now have a system of equations, and I am going to pick one of these equations, and I'm going to solve for a because a doesn't have an exponent. So that's my thinking there. I prefer to deal with whole numbers, so I'm actually going to go ahead and solve this equation for a. Okay, all right, so I'm going to rewrite this for us over here. Oops. If I can write my numbers right. Okay, so the way that I'm going to solve for a is I'm going to go ahead and it's a times b to the fifth, so I'm going to divide b to the fifth off of both sides. When I do that, b to the fifth divided by b to the fifth is 1. So I have a times 1. So my simplified equation looks like 3072 divided by b to the fifth equals a. All right, great. Now we are going to look at the other equation. That would be this one that we did not use. And everywhere I see a, I'm going to go ahead and plug in what a equals, 3072 divided by b to the fifth. So I'm going to go ahead and come over here. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and write in pink what I'm substituting. So this is going in for a. Okay, this is b here, and then to the power of -2. Okay, I'm going to do an intermediate step here. I'm going to rewrite this so I can simplify my variable b. So what I know is that there's technically a 1 underneath this b to the power of -2. So if we remember our exponent rules, I have b to the power of -2 divided by b to the power of 5. What that means is I subtract my exponents to simplify them. So -2 minus 5 is -7. So I could rewrite this as 3072 times b to the power of -7. All right. If you need more help on that, I have a video on how to deal with negative exponents, so go check that out. I'll link it below. Okay, and now our goal is to get b all by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3072 as a first step. Okay, because that's the only thing I can do because that -7 power is attached to b, and I have to have b on its own side before I deal with that. This is going to be a really yucky decimal, so I'm going to just leave this fraction as is. And I'm going to say that this equals b to the -7 power. Now, the way we get rid of powers, and I should say get rid of them, I'm trying to make this b to the power of 1, right? Because b is the same thing as b to the power of 1. I'm going to raise this side to its reciprocal, so it stays negative, and the reciprocal of 7 is 1/7. So I'm raising this side to the power of -1/7. What I do to one side in math, I do to the other. And it's very important here. We're raising this whole fraction to the power of -1/7. When I do that and put that into my calculator, I get a value of 4 out for b. So now I know that b is equal to 4. So I'm going to come back up and I'm going to pick one of my equations. And again, I'm going to pick the one that doesn't have the decimal just because I think I prefer to work in that way. So I'm going to say 3072 equals A. Everywhere I see B, I'm going to put in 4. And this was to the power of 5. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what 4 to the power of 5 is, because that's a number. So when I do that, I find that 4 to the 5 is 1024. And then it's still multiplied by A. And now we're in a great place because this is a one-step equation. We know how to solve this. I'm dividing by 1024 on both sides. And when I do that, I get 3. So now that I know A and B, I can write my final equation, which is y equals 3 times 4 to the power of x. So you could plug both of your x values in and make sure that you get your y values out. I already did that, so I know this is right. And that is how you write the equation of an exponential function through 2 points when given the 2 points. If this video was helpful at all for you, please like it so other people see it. Till next time, remember, you've got